Mark Field, CEO of Ford, thank you so much for taking the time.
Oh, Ruben, thanks for having me on again.
Now we're here at CES, you're talking about smart mobility. How does Ford see smart mobility from a macro perspective?
Well, Ford Smart Mobility for us is really about using innovation to take us to the next level in terms of mobility, autonomous vehicles, connected car, the whole customer experience, and big data. So we're really thinking of ourselves not only as a car, utility, and truck company, that's very important, but also as a mobility company, and using innovation to help solve some of the world's most pressing traffic and congestion issues.
So you're back here after 8 years when you were first on stage with Bill Gates talking about Sync. Now you've got Sync 3. What other innovations will the cars have in 2015?
Well, obviously we're introducing Sync 3, which is really building on the 8 years of experience we've had with Sync and a lot of feedback from customers. And what we've been able to do over the last 8 years is update the current Sync system. Now we get a whole next generation system. So it will allow more conversational voice activation. It will allow faster use, a more intuitive graphical interface so you can swipe, you can pinch, the type of things that you do on a smartphone. It'll allow you to update the Sync system over Wi-Fi, your home Wi-Fi system. So those are some of the things that we're talking about the show this year, and just using the show to talk about our innovations in general as a company. The semi-autonomous vehicles that we have on the roads today, our plans for fully autonomous vehicles. So it's a really important opportunity for us to talk about those innovations.
So how will we see innovation change Ford over the next 5 years? Will we see more robots in the manufacturing facilities? Will we see more autonomous cars? What's your vision for 5 years from today?
Well, I think what you're going to continue to see from a Ford perspective in our plants and our facilities is to continue to look at innovation as very simply as people coming together and creating value by implementing new ideas that others see benefit in.
So you've spent a lot of money focusing on fuel-efficient cars. We've got gas prices hovering around $2. How are you going to get people to pay a little more for those cars when gas prices are so low?
Well, our approach always is to make sure that the vehicles that we offer a great value to customers. And even though gas prices, are lower now, significantly lower, under $3 a gallon in many places, and in some cases approaching under $2 a gallon, customers still want good fuel efficiency. Because as you look at the drop in oil prices, we view that as good for the consumer. They're going to put more money in their pocket, it's going to be good for the economy. I don't think consumers are going to run out and just buy more cars, so I don't think it will significantly increase the industry, but it may impact the types of cars they want. So a customer that might be thinking of a smaller car might be thinking of a larger CUV or an SUV, and as they do that, they're going to want to make sure that whatever they buy has good fuel economy, because at some point, fuel prices can change.
We talk a lot about China all the time. A lot of analyst reports that I was reading toward the end of 2014 saying that China was slowing down. What are you seeing kind of as we start 2015 in China?
Well, let's put it into perspective. Slowing down from 7.5% growth to 7% growth, that's like going from 100 miles to 80 miles an hour as opposed to going to a full stop. So as we look at China, last year the economic growth was around 7.5%. We'll probably see growth maybe in about the 7% range. I mean, that's been some of the ranges that the government officials have been talking about. That is still very healthy growth. And for our business, we've seen exponential growth there. Our sales through November were up 20% year on year. That was following the previous year where it was up 50%. We're introducing a whole number of new products in the marketplace right now. We're opening up 2 more plants next year. So we expect to see continued growth, and we're really pleased to see the response from Chinese consumers.
What's the potential for Ford in Cuba? Have you started looking at potentially expanding there?
Well, we're obviously, we follow the laws of the federal government in the U.S., and right now we're looking at some of the announcements that President Obama made, and we'll continue to look at that, and when we get the green light to go, I think it'll be a good market, but clearly we want to stay within the current regulations.
Mark, thank you so much for taking the time. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Ruben.